Good morning. Welcome to Second Unitarian Church of Chicago. Please rise in body or in spirit and join me in singing our opening hymn, number 118, This Little Light of Mine. I go. Everywhere I go, oh, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, oh, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Building up the world, building up the world. Oh, I'm gonna let it shine. Building up the world. Oh, I'm gonna let it shine. Building up the world. Oh, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. This little light of mine. This little light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine. Oh, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it
Welcome to Second Unitarian Church. I am Carla Tebby, a member of the Board of Trustees, and my pronouns are she, her, and hers. Today, we're in person at the Admiral at the Lake, the 2U Sanctuary, and continuing to meet virtually using Zoom. We're glad you're here, whichever way you're attending. If you are in the sanctuary and would benefit from hearing assistance, we have devices available, as well as noise-canceling headphones for both adults and children with noise sensitivities. Please see our tech team in the back. We encourage people to wear masks during the service. This practice prevents transmission of COVID and helps us center the needs of those who are most vulnerable. We have masks at the welcome table. We especially welcome newcomers and visitors this morning. Finding a new community and making new connections can be challenging. Please know that we're excited to have you and look forward to getting to know you. If you would like, there are blue mugs you can use during coffee hour to signal to others that you would like them to come up and say hello. If you're not sure what to say, the Drum Allies group has come up with a question each week to help spark conversation. You can find the question on a sheet of paper on the table. Additionally, we always need people in the kitchen after coffee hour, and that's a great place to make new friends and see old friends. Our worship today is led by Reverend Jason Lydon, along with Karen Goldner as worship associate. Music this morning is provided by Jennifer Kronk and Director of Music Carl Kennedy. Our time together requires a large group of people who make possible the worship, the music, and the technical production. They're listed in our order of service, and we thank them for their ongoing service to our congregation. I have quite a few announcements today. Next Sunday will be our monthly young adult group gathering. a space for people 18 to 35, led by Reverend Jason. We're also seeking someone to step into the role of group facilitator. If you're interested, please contact Reverend Jason. 2U is working with the D19 Mutual Aid Group to bring joy to new neighbors who recently arrived from the border. These newly arrived families will fill out a Google form stating their desire to participate in this holiday match and giving their family members names and ages and any specific gift ideas. They will then be matched with a 2U family to fulfill some of these gift ideas. We will all gather at 2U on Saturday, January 4th from 4 to 6 in the Palmer Room to celebrate Dia de los Reyes, Three Kings Day, to give gifts and share in our community. Hot beverages and sweets will be served. If your family would be interested in being matched with a recently arrived Venezuelan family, please contact Alicia Obando. The 2U Family Choir will return to perform next Sunday, December 15th for our Intergenerational Music Sunday. All ages and levels of experience are encouraged to participate. We will meet in the sanctuary at 9:30 a.m. before the service, learn a couple of simple songs, and perform that day. It's a great opportunity to have fun with some great music and connect across generations through the power of singing. If you're interested in participating or have questions, please reach out to our Director of Music, Carl Kennedy. We have a few upcoming holiday services. I want to highlight the coming Blue Christmas service. The holidays are not always the easiest time for everyone. We have a yearly service to honor the more challenging moments of this time of year. This service will be on Wednesday, December 18th at 7 in the sanctuary and will feature music from guest artist Kat Sherman. Now we have a special announcement about the Raise Right campaign. Tom and Curtis. Nope, sorry.
A famous singer-philosopher once sang, "We are living in a material world, but how? How can we translate the material into the spiritual?" Raise Right is a fundraising tool to easily do this. Hopefully you've heard of it and that the 2U board endorses this approach to raising money for our ministries. And maybe you've seen a little something in the order of service over the past 8 weeks, but maybe you still aren't sure what it is or how it works. Well, Raise Right is an e-gift card program people can use for everyday purchases using their phones or personal computer to shop with over 500 brands and retailers. The cost to you is tiny, as low as 29 cents per gift card purchase. Raise Right is based in Michigan and serves over 50,000 schools, churches, and not-for-profits, all of them raising money through it. It gives us a chance to support 2U by using Raise Right for the sorts of purchases we make every week and for gifts to friends and family. Tom, do you like to eat every day?
Well, John, what gave me away?
Well, Raise Right has e-gift cards for groceries at Jewel and Mariano's. Tom, if you spend $100 a week at Jewel, or about $5,000 in a year, 2U could benefit every month.
Well, John, do you ever just want to get away?
Well, yes, all the time.
Well, airlines like Southwest and Delta are both in Raise Right, along with the 4 major cruise lines like Princess Cruises. And for a place to stay, John, Raise Right can also be used for Airbnb, Courtyard by Marriott, and other hotels. Now, John, do you like to keep the cold at bay and also play?
Always.
You can use Raise Right for warm clothes at Macy's, LL Bean, and other retailers, and you can also use it at Dick's Sporting Goods. And right now, the LL Bean contribution to the church is $19 on a $100 gift card. That's pretty hard to beat.
Raise Right enlists hundreds of brands, and when you buy a card, the brand contributes a percentage of that purchase directly to 2U. You receive the full value you purchase, but the brand rebates an average of 5% to 2U. There are specials like the LL Bean special, and those happen every day and have bonus percentages added. We'll be at a table in the Palmer Room during coffee hour, so please stop by if you have any questions or want to see how it works. On behalf of the 2U Finance Committee, thank you for your support of 2U.
You can find additional announcements in your order of service. I want to say a word about greeting your neighbor. It's vital that we do so with the utmost focus on consent and comfortability. Whatever method of greeting you do, please ask the other person if they feel comfortable with the same level of contact. We all have different needs about how our bodies are in contact with others. Please be mindful. Okay, this is the time to take a moment and greet your neighbor.
Gathered here in one strong body, gathered here in the struggle and the power. Spirit, draw near. You can also draw near by sitting in the front. We have seats available.
That's where all the comfortable chairs are. We are a Unitarian Universalist congregation, a community of children, youth, and adults, a people of many beliefs and traditions bound not by the specific list of things we believe, but the values we share, where we keep love at the center. Whether you are joining us for the first time or for the 1000th time, you are welcome here. Whether you believe in God some of the time, all of the time, or none of the time, you are welcome here. Whatever your race, whomever you love, whichever way you move in the world, however much money is in your pocket, you are welcome here. I invite you, when you feel ready, to take a breath in and out. As the music begins, let us enter into our service together.
Good morning again. Our intro today comes from the Jewish singer-songwriter Batya Levine. Their music really comes from their theology and comes from their tradition, but has really universal messages, I think. And so as today, we're talking about truth and being grounded in and solid in our own truths, I think this song really resonates in a beautiful way. The lyrics are really simple. By the way, you're singing this with me, just so you know. It's really simple lyrics, just saying, may I be empty and open to receive the light. May I be empty and open to receive. And then it says, may I be full and open to receive the light. May I be full and open to receive. And again, as we're talking about being solid and grounded in our own truth, I think that's such a beautiful idea, to be full but still open to receive. So that just really resonated with me this morning. So there are actually two parts. So this half of the room is going to sing the melody, and this half of the room is going to sing the harmony, and we're going to try to put it together. So the melody goes, may I be empty and open to receive the light. May I be empty and open to receive. Let's sing that together. Melody. May I be empty and open to receive the light. May I be empty and open to receive. May I be full. May I be full and open to receive the light. May I be full and open to receive. Good, it's in the harmony. It's a little bit higher, same idea. May I be empty and open to receive the light. May I be empty and open to receive. May I be full. May I be full and open to receive the light. May I be full and open to receive. That's it. So we'll start with the melody, then we'll come in with the harmony. If you're feeling solid on the melody and you're on this side of the room, you're happy to stay on the melody. If you're on this side of the room and are feeling harmony curious, you can jump over to the harmony. May I be empty and open to receive the light. May I be empty and open to receive. Beautiful. May I be full. May I be full and open to receive the light. May I be full and open to receive. One more time. May I be empty and open to receive the light. May I be empty and open to receive. May I be full. May I be full and open to receive the light. May I be full and open to receive. Keep going. May I be empty and open to receive the light. May I be empty and open to receive. May I be full and open to receive the light. May I be full and open to receive. May I be empty. May I be empty and open to receive the light. May I be empty and open to receive. May I be full and open to receive the light. May I be full and open to receive.
Thank you, Carl. And thank you, all of you. Your voices are so beautiful. In just a moment, Nolan here in the sanctuary and Harris at the Admiral will light our chalices, the symbol of our faith. And we light our chalices this morning with these words from Kate Kadarian Morris. Here we have come into the sacred space, quieter now with our readiness, hushed voices, hoping, trusting for so many things, for connection, for communion, for inspiration, for information, for healing, for wholeness, for words, for music, for celebration and consolation. Here we have come into this space bringing all of who we are. Let us be willing, however we are changed.
Please rise in body or spirit and join me in reciting our covenant. We covenant to build a community that challenges us to grow and empowers us to honor the truth within ourselves. We will be generous with our gifts and honest in our communication, holding faithful to a love that embraces both diversity and conflict. Called by our living tradition, we will nurture spirituality within a vision of the eternal, living out our inner convictions through struggles for justice and acts of compassion.
Please join us in singing our congregational hymn number 123, Spirit.
Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea, move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me.
You can be seated. To invite those who are young in age or young in spirit to come join me on the chancel. It's so nice to see you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You're the first one here. You're so fast. Good job. It's nice to be with you this morning. I have a couple of questions for you this morning. I'm wondering if you could tell me what it means to tell the truth. Yeah, Malachi. Okay. Tell the real thing that you do, not the fake thing. Yeah. Let me be honest, not try to trick people. What else? Anybody else? Yeah, Escher. And then yeah, being honest and not telling people you did things that you didn't do on purpose. Absolutely. Zella. Absolutely. There's a difference between not lying and telling the truth, and it's about telling both sides. Absolutely. Thank you so much. Well, these are a bunch of things about the truth. There is a game that I like to play that is called Two Truths and a Lie. This is a game where we tell two things about ourselves that are true and one thing about ourselves that is not true. Exactly. And it is a fun game to try to learn things about each other. There's a little trickery in here, a little tricking, but it is playful tricking because we are already knowing, everybody already knows that one of the things isn't going to be true. And I'm wondering if anybody here, because we only unfortunately have time for one person today, but I'm wondering if there's somebody who wants to tell us two truths and a lie. Zella, go for it. Do you want to use the microphone for it so everyone can hear you?
I go to Taekwondo, I read a lot, and I do not have that many bags.
Okay. Well, what one do people think is the lie? Yes. They have a lot of bags. Does anyone agree? Do you think that might be the lie? Yeah. Layered with bags. All right. Well, You would have known, Malachi. That's the thing, right? When we know each other, we have a sense of when each other are lying, right? The better we know each other, the more we can tell when one another are telling the truth. At least 5 bags. That's way more bags than I have. I'm so excited for you. All right, well, with that, I hope we keep thinking about what it means to tell the truth and why it's important for us to tell the truth. And now we're going to sing as you all head off to class. So each year, all of us make a commitment, a pledge to support the ministry of this, our church. It's the biggest way we resource the ministries of our congregation. In addition to this commitment that we make, we take a collection every Sunday so that we can share with those who are doing justice work beyond our walls and making the world the place that we dream of. In just a moment, you will see a phone number on the screen during the music as that plays, and you can do a text to give if you would like to do that, and we welcome your giving that way. For those of you here in the sanctuary, we will pass around a plate, and you can put your change, your cash, your checks right into those plates that come around. For the month of December, we're doing things a little bit differently. Rather than giving our money outside and beyond our congregation to a specific organization, we're resourcing what's called the Minister's Discretionary Fund. And this is a fund that you all provide for me so that I can support people in very material ways as they are navigating their lives in the world. So what I mean by that is if somebody can't pay their rent, you give me the financial resources to help somebody pay their rent. If somebody can't pay for their groceries, you give me the resources to show up next to that person and make sure that they can get the groceries they need to feed their bodies, to feed their loved ones, and to take care of themselves. So much of church life is about community. And we are responsible for each other. And that community of ours extends beyond just the members of our church. Certainly, there are members of our church who struggle financially and need financial resources. But so too are there times when people beyond our church call me up and say, help me. You are a church, help me. And we are able to resource them so that they can take care of themselves to the best of their ability. When I first started here, we had quite a large amount of resources to support this Minister's Discretionary Fund. Those funds have been depleted, and they need to be built back up. And the only way they get built back up is by you. And so as you are thinking about giving this month, my encouragement to you is to consider giving a little bit more than maybe you give in previous months. That we need to make sure that this is a well-resourced tool so that we can do immediate care to the people in our communities. So thank you so much.
Now I invite you to join me in reading our offertory words. The words are printed in your order of service and are on our screen. This church is the community of ourselves. Its energy and resources are our energy and resources. Its wealth is what we share. As we contribute to the life of this community, we affirm it and enable its participation in the larger world around us. The offering will now be generously given and gratefully received.
Many of you have likely heard, though maybe some of you have not, that on Tuesday of this week, Nana Cross, a beloved member of our community, passed away. This is a big loss for us. And we have a connection amongst this loss as Nana's family is building more connections here at 2U. And I want to welcome Nana's niece, Heather, to come and share some brief words with us this morning.
Thank you, Reverend Jason. Thank you. So I'm Heather. I'm the niece from California. And I got to Chicago, not this last Friday, but the Friday before, to take care of Nana. And things happened very, very quickly. And I know that she loved this community very, very much. This was her chosen family. So I want to say thank you to each and every one of you. And I've had the pleasure to meet some of you, go to your houses for barbecues. Thank you, Tom. And I just really appreciate all that you've done. This weekend, my partner and I, Rob, celebrated Nana. We went to the Art Institute, where she took me when I was 14 and changed my life forever. That's why I went to school for art. We also went to the symphony and sat in her row, K, seat 6, which is great. And again, I just want to say thank you all for the kind words that have been shared with me and my family. Her love for the arts, her fierce independence, her very dry and direct humor, and passion for equity will be missed for years to come. I've scheduled her memorial with Reverend Jason, and it will be Saturday, January 25th at 11 a.m., right here at 2U, as well as Zoom. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Heather. We send our deepest love and care and condolences to you and your family, and to everyone who loved Nana and continues to love her as she surrounds us in our lives. Now I want to invite you into the spirit of prayer or meditation. Let's start by breathing together. Rest yourself in your body. Feel yourself in your chair. Feel your feet on the floor. Imagine roots extending from your feet down through the basement into the ground, intertwining with each other, intertwining with all that exists, has existed, and will exist. Feel yourself amongst this interconnected web of existence. Let us practice gratitude together. Be thankful for the breath in our lungs, the beauty of our earth, and the strength of this, our beloved community. We hold in our hearts those who care for family and ill health, those living with grief or chronic pain, those struggling with addiction or illness, seen and unseen. We're with you. For parents and teachers and all those whose primary spiritual practice is caring for children, we're with you. We pray for our neighbors in prison, for those who are struggling to stay afloat in the midst of poverty, for immigrants and refugees who are fleeing and seeking, finding new homes in our city amongst many, we are with you. We pray for all those living in harm's way. We pray for our planet and commit to work that will lead us away from the harms of climate chaos. As war and genocide rage, we pray that wisdom, compassion, and empathy guide the leaders of our world. May they and we be instruments of a just and lasting peace. Our lives are truly blessed by those who are encountering the final stages of life. We offer prayers of comfort and care, knowing this journey is far from easy. During this last week, even as the Supreme Court heard arguments about life-saving care for transgender and gender nonconforming young people, we know in our hearts the truth that trans and gender nonconforming young people are inherently valuable and beautiful, no matter what the court says. We pray the court makes the right decision, and if they do not, we remain ever vigilant in our commitment to show love to each other and every single one of our young people. Into this, our shared silence across space, I invite you now to speak aloud the names of anyone you wish to lift up into the loving support of our community. With our deepest compassion, let us hold in our hearts those named and unnamed, those remembered and those forgotten. Let it be so. Amen, and blessed be. During our ritual of lighting candles for joys and concerns, we want to continue to take care of one another. In the 2U sanctuary, in a moment, I will invite you forward to light a candle. As you end your time of contemplation and candle lighting, you're invited to use the hand sanitizer available. For those at the Admiral, I invite you to come forward. Take a pebble from one bowl, hold it tightly in your hand, putting your energy into the stone, and then knowing your joys and sorrows to be shared by this community, let it go lightly into the other bowl. And for those of us on Zoom, I invite you to join by sharing your joys and sorrows in our chat window. We hold all of these, our shared joys, celebrations, concerns, and sorrows close to our hearts. Karen, would you share our first reading, please?
Our first reading this morning is a list of Buddhist remembrances from the Ubachatana Sutta. There are Buddhist remembrances all related to the pervasiveness of change. They come from the Upajjhatana Sutta. I am of the nature to grow old. There is no way to escape growing old. I am of the nature to have ill health. There is no way to escape having ill health. I am of the nature to die. There is no way to escape death. All that is dear to me and everyone I love are of the nature to change. There is no way to escape being separated from them. My actions are my only true belongings. I cannot escape the consequences of my actions. My actions are the ground upon which I stand.
Thank you, Karen. Our second reading is entitled The Truth in You by Sylvia Chile. I seek the truth in you. The weak lie is not you, so speak up. Yes, you. The truth hurts, but it works. The truth simplifies and dignifies. The truth soothes, preserving your youth. I ask the truth of you. Cry now. Take a tissue. So speak up. Yes, you. The truth signifies and modifies. The truth is within and the best way to begin. The truth is a good start, especially for sweethearts. I need the truth of you. Simply choose your venue. So speak up. Yes, you. The truth to any degree is a starting point to be free, just like 1 and 2 make 3. So speak up. Yes, you. If you agree, let's hear our anthem.
I'm listening. Spirit, speak to me. I'm listening. I'm listening. Spirit, speak to me. My hands are wide open. Eyes are wide open to see what I may be. Oh, I'm listening. I'm listening. Spirit, speak to me. Oh, I'm listening. wide open, eyes are wide open to see what I may be. Oh, I'm listening. I'm listening. Spirit, speak to me. My hands are wide open, eyes are wide open to see what I may be. Oh, I'm listening. I'm listening. Spirit, speak to me. I'm listening. I'm listening. Spirit, speak to me.
How blessed are we to listen to you. So you may have guessed by this morning that maybe for me as a young person, my favorite get to know you game was Two Truths and a Lie. I loved trying to trick people. It was particularly fun when there were those in the group who knew each other pretty well and those who were brand new to one another. Could I come up with something that those who knew me didn't know for sure? Could I change the truth slightly enough that it was a bit confusing? Could the lie be expressed in just the right tone that I didn't give myself away? What about the placement in the three options? Should the lie be first, second, third? What would result in the greatest trickery? Maybe you've played this game before. Maybe you enjoy it as much as I do, or maybe it feels a little stressful. Maybe you have a hard time telling people things about yourself, even superficial things. Maybe it's hard to come up with 3 examples that you're like, this is interesting enough about me. There's a silly amount of pressure in these get to know you games. Maybe we're trying to kind of one-up one another. Maybe, like me, you really want to win and be the best trickster. Maybe you want to impress people with who you are. There's truly just so many possibilities. Plus, there are those of us who simply dread icebreakers and beg those leading them, please, just please move on. None of this anymore. Don't make me do this. These are all fair reactions. Here are my 2 truths and a lie for you this morning. 2 things about me that are true and 1 that is not. And please, this is not serious. It's just playful. Or at least that's my hope. After I share, I want you to think in your mind about which one of these is the lie. I will give you a moment and tell you which one it is. And then we'll take a hand-raised poll because, again, I want to see if I'm winning. That's the most important part here. But there's no prize except for my ego. And then also for you, the inner knowledge that you can detect a lie. So here we go. I have 5 siblings. I dropped out of college, and my first tape player was in a Teddy Ruxpin stuffed animal. Just think for your mind for a moment. Okay, so the lie is I have 4 siblings. So, all right, raise your hand. Who got it right? Yeah, okay, fair enough. I did a terrible job. That's okay, the ego's hurting, but you all did a really good job. So feel free to feel proud in your own ego, which is also really important. That's what I'm here for. So this morning's sermon is focused on truth, obviously. So why are we starting with lying? I have a precarious relationship to truth. There are so many truths that feel important to me. The truth of love, the truth of justice, the truth of interconnectedness, many so-called big T truths. My truths and my beliefs are often inseparable from one another. My truth tells me that the universe in its infinite vastness is rooted in love and infinite grace. Love for you, grace for me, and grace and love for all that has ever existed and ever will be. That is true for me. The funny thing about these big T truths is that yours and mine may not be the same. Niels Bohr, a deeply complicated man, offers us some wisdom that might be useful here. He says the opposite of a fact is falsehood, but the opposite of one profound truth may very well be another profound truth. I wonder how your big T truth might be similar or different from mine. I think one of the great beauties of Unitarian Universalist theology is that it can handle that pluralistic reality. My precarious relationship to truth, however, comes from my big question, really one that wrestles within me, of who is entitled to our truth. When are we supposed to tell the truth? As a kid, my dad would often tell me that no matter what, I should always tell the truth. If I always told the truth, he would be able to be on my side and defend me whenever I explained something that happened. If I was trustworthy, then there was so much we could overcome together. I was a little suspect of that. If I did something I was not supposed to, watch TV instead of doing homework, played in the part of the woods I wasn't supposed to, broke a dish in the kitchen, was the truth always going to be my best strategy? What if I could get away with something and not face negative consequences? What if I was scared to tell the truth because I didn't want to confront the disappointment or anger that might be directed towards me? I feel that most of us learn at a young age that the truth is more complicated than simply always speaking it. Plus, telling the truth doesn't always result in the best possible outcomes. In my 20s, I spent 7 years volunteering with an LGBT domestic violence organization. We had a big T truth that guided our work. Until all systems of oppression are gone, patriarchy, white supremacy, all of these systems, domestic violence would always continue. Domination and control in interpersonal relationships mirrors the domination of control in our society. When we are taught that it is appropriate for one person or one group or one government to hold power over others, that gets replicated in all aspects of society. That big T truth guided our work as an organization. But did we believe it was always necessary to tell the truth? What does that even mean exactly? Telling the truth goes well beyond stating the literal facts of any situation, as we heard from our brilliant young people this morning. Truth requires a connection to the fullness of an experience. It requires inner knowing and outer knowing. It requires understanding one's interpretation of any experience and the interpretation of others. When an abusive partner asks a survivor if the packed bag in the closet is going to be used to leave them, that survivor has no obligation to tell their abusive partner the truth about that bag. The survivor can come up with any kind of lie they need in order to navigate or maybe even survive that encounter. When someone has power over us, I don't believe they're necessarily entitled to our truth. If someone can control us, harm us, or exploit us based on us telling the truth, this lack of equity in relationship makes it so that keeping the truth to oneself might be exactly the right choice. Maybe keeping a truth to oneself is actually maintaining integrity to a bigger truth. The truth that power over relationships create at times insurmountable barriers to one's full authenticity. As a queer person living in this world, I've known this well. There have been many times when telling the truth about myself was not the safest strategy, but I had no less integrity. And this is true for so many LGBTQ people and is becoming even more true now. Rami Shapiro, author of the World Wisdom Bible, defines truth like this. Truth, that which leads us beyond isolation to unity, beyond fear to love, beyond exploitation of the other to justice for all, beyond the zero-sum winner-takes-all worldview of us against them, to the non-zero win-win worldview of all of us together. This definition of truth addresses the question of power over relationships. It gives us an invitation to understand truth as connection. There is a truth about conflict in our congregation that I feel the need to share with you. Within this conflict, there are examples of my failures at serving members of our congregation in the way that they deserved, as well as failures of me living up to the big T truths of collective liberation, accountability, and centering the needs of those most vulnerable amongst us. You may be aware that we're navigating conflict about the best way to protect and center the needs of those who are disabled and immunocompromised within and beyond our immediate community. The board and I have engaged in one-on-one conversations, group conversations, and committee-level conversations about this. One of the biggest questions has been related to the implementation of mask mandates, though the context of the question is far greater than the specific tactic of mask wearing. The board asked me to facilitate a conversation with people in church about COVID protocols. I did this. During this conversation, many people shared with great vulnerability about their anxieties, frustrations, disappointments, fears, and personal needs when it comes to creating a fully accessible church. After listening to that vulnerability, I erred greatly. Rather than internalize the deep sharing, I doubled down on an argument that did not center and value those who were sharing. I hurt people I long to serve. I participated in creating an ableist environment that has resulted in pain as well as loss for our congregation. While shame is not necessarily a helpful emotion, it can be an indicator that we're not living into our big T truths, not the way that we hold them dear. To feel ashamed can be a messenger of a need to change. Staying in shame, not helpful, but being aware when it comes up, that can tell us something about truth. Following this conversation, I continued to make mistakes. I wonder if you've ever found yourself in a similar situation, not immediately learning from what you have done, and instead screwing up and causing harm again. During a committee council meeting, I exacerbated the harm I caused with a statement that continued to cause hurt. I'm not going to go into the specifics of exactly what I said, as I believe the essence is clear and the lessons are the key parts to highlight. Again, I pain people with ableist assertions that I know better. Again, I wonder if you've done this too. You know better, I know better, and I still make the mistake. As a disabled person myself, I know the pains of ableism. And even when we're part of a similarly oppressed group, we can still perpetuate those same forms of oppression. It is embedded in us. It's embedded in me. And I failed at this. And I am deeply sorry for the harm that I caused. Words are insufficient, and hopefully actions on my behalf will be part of my accountability, and telling you about it is part of my accountability. This conflict is not resolved. There are hard conversations happening with the board about process and policy, about ableism and values, about accessibility and commitments to justice. And there is another big T truth here. I've written about this in Anvil articles before. When we choose to be in community, we're choosing to risk being hurt. Humans are wonderful and beautiful creatures. So too do we hurt and harm one another. Every single one of us hurts and harms others. We don't all do so to the same degree. There is profound harm and minor harm and everything in between. And sometimes harm can be so great in a community that one must pull away to protect themselves. The harm is greater than the value of the space. And it's a huge loss when this is the case. I hope, my prayer really is that we minimize as much as possible harm that pushes someone out. But at times I fail at that. In Unitarian Universalism, we do not suggest that clergy are infallible. Clergy are not closer to God. Clergy do not speak for the divine, however we understand it. Clergy are human, full of human failings. This is a big T truth of our Unitarian Universalism. We are all equally sacred, and we are all equally flawed. When we fail, we must be accountable. For me, this is a time of embracing both small T truths and big T truths, and you deserve to hear from me often about my failings, especially when they involve our church. While there are dynamics of power imbalance in our relationship, the congregation has the power to relieve me of my position, and I am in a position of authority as the minister. And I still believe we are entitled to one another's truth. We are in relationship with one another in a way that our authenticity makes our community so much stronger. I wonder if you agree. What truths are you holding back from our church, from me, from our staff? What truths are resting on your heart that you long to free and unburden yourself from? Maybe it's not just here at church, but other parts of your life. What truths need to come out? During the Indian independence movement, the term satyagraha gained popularity. Dr. King brought this concept back to the United States with him to help shape his commitment to nonviolence. To quote Conrad Hodgman, satyagraha does not only mean truth force, but also love force. And here lies the distinction, he says. Truth exists, but love reminds us how it operates. Can we guide ourselves down a path of truth that embraces a love ethic? Can we remember the ways we are holding love at the center of our faith and allow that to shape our commitment to truth? As I said at the beginning, I have a precarious relationship to truth. I do, though, want us to tell one another the truth as much as we can when it's safe for us to do so. The great Chicago poet Gwendolyn Brooks writes, "We are each other's harvest. We are each other's business. We are each other's magnitude and bond." As we sing our closing hymn this morning, I invite you to really hear the words in the second verse calling us to seek for what is true. What are your big T truths that guide your life? What are the little T truths that you need to share or need to keep quiet to best take care of yourself? Different from the lessons my dad taught me, you need not always tell the exact truth in order to be honest. Still, there are those times when telling the truth can set your spirit free, can invite you into deeper relationship, can begin to heal a wound, can open a path to something new. Maybe we can wrestle with our truths together. Now I invite you to rise in body or spirit and join your voices together in singing our closing hymn, number 298, "Wake Now My Senses." you to rest your hands upon your heart, or clasp hands with those you are sharing your life with, and hear these words again. The opposite of a fact is falsehood, but the opposite of one profound truth may very well be another profound truth. It is our responsibility, beloveds, to constantly create, understand, and uncover truth. Let us each grasp onto truth with a lightness that allows us to understand truths also held by others. Go in peace.